Hey guys, Jeremy, the host of the world famous YouTube channel mywaymfg. I once had a guy from Argentina comment on a video. I guess that's world famous. Cooking on a new grill for about the 100th time now. Been using the hell out of that thing. Anyway, I got something cool in the mail. Here's our new volt gauge for the mywaymfg Model T replica. That's pretty cool. Kind of got the old style pointer on it and kind of a retro look, you know. It's made of plastic, but $9. As long as it works, I'm good with it. Probably came from India, I'm thinking. Anyway, just put some burgers on the grill and it's starting to rain, so that's good, right? We've had tornado warnings all day. Haven't seen any yet, but yeah, hopefully we don't, right? But I would like to get these burgers cooked. Wet. See you in the garage, guys. Got a little snow again this morning. I want this piece of sheet metal right here. Yeah. I got this pattern made up last night. Just took a piece of paper and folded it in half both directions, and pretty well gave me the size I wanted for my diamond shape. And then I rounded the corners off with I think I used a ball. Traced the volt gauge there and the key switch opening. So I'm going to cut that out and get it on this rusty piece of sheet metal here. Alright guys, that's going to be the dash panel. So we got to make sides for it. This is my longest side right here on this scrap piece, but we don't quite get there with it. I'll put a patch on the driver's side bottom where it's not so noticeable. Make a splice there. So anyway, that 2x4 sticks out 1.5 inches. So I think I'll make that 1 3/4 inches, so it's not quite up against the 2x4. I want the wires to be able to go over that 2x4 and not get pinched. And I don't really want to run them through the 2x4, then it would be hard to get the dash panel out if you had to work on it. Thinking 1 3/4 inches, and then the wires can rest right on the face of it. Made this sheet metal bender back when I was doing that back roll pan on Eliza, and it was 18 gauge and it was probably about 30 inches. It took up the whole width of this. I was having a hell of a time. This wasn't really strong enough. It needed a brace across the top of this pipe, kept wanting to flex, and I needed more leverage on it. I got it though. A lot of struggling, but I got it. But I think it's going to work perfect to put the bends in this. I'm going to try it. I got to make a splice in that because this isn't going to make it all the way around. I probably don't want my splice in a bend. It'd be nice if my splice was on a straight edge. We'll see how it works. I think I'm close enough with it I can start tacking it in and working it into place. We'll give that a try. All right, guys, I got this welded up. I got some holes drilled in it. This turned out exactly like I wanted it to. I'm gonna hide this part down by the driver's side bottom. This side looks great. This looks good. So this is what I've been envisioning, and it turned out perfectly, actually. A lot of people are scared to try to weld this old metal like this. Rusty, thin. I got a 0.025 wire in the welder, and I was running it down on A at a wire speed of about 4. Rusty metal, thin like that, you're gonna want it on A. If you're not getting good penetration, you can kick it up, but I would start on A. If you don't think that's good, you could go to B. It's gonna be one or the other. And then you can play with your wire speed until your welder sounds like it's not jumpy, like it's running consistently. But I got pretty good welds on this. I didn't weld it solid, but I did put a lot of tacks on it, and I ground them down. So anyway, I'm getting ready to do the holes in this. This hole saw is just slightly smaller than the gauge, but I'm going to use it and then just take a die grinder and grind back to it. And actually, it'll probably work, because a lot of times when you use a hole saw, it kind of walks on you, and you end up with a bigger hole than you need. In fact, if you're trying to be precise with one, I would always go a size smaller, probably, just because of that reason. It walks around and makes the hole a little big. But let's get some holes in here. We gotta scribe out the sides of it so it fits around the 2x4. Let me show you. It's gonna go right in that area, but I want that 2x4 countersunk into it. So then the conduit will come up in the bottom. Let's get a little closer here and we'll see what we got to cut for notches in this. Part of that patch will probably get cut out actually. Yeah, very happy with how this turned out. And I've mentioned this before in other videos, but I used to watch those Sunday morning TV shows and Jesse James and Chip Foose and all them guys like that building cars. And, you know, back like in early, say 2000, 2001, I was putting a truck together. I was doing a frame swap and all the body work and new motor and training. I was really doing my best to try to do everything right, you know, spending the money where I had to. And I'd go out there and work, and then I'd go in and watch some TV shows, and everything they did was so perfect. I'd go out and look at what I just done, and I thought, I suck, you know, I shouldn't even be doing this. And for that reason, those shows aren't inspirational. They show everything too clean and pretty, you know, and I have a lot of guys comment or tell me the videos that I do are inspirational. Here is why my YMFG videos are inspirational, is because when you're watching me, you're thinking, hey, that guy's dumb like me. And look what he just did, you know? And what it really is are you happy with your own work? Because I'm pretty happy with the work I do, and that's all that really matters, right? And if you're not happy with the work that you're capable of doing, practice. Because I'm a lot better now than I was 20 years ago, you know, other than now I can't see or hear. But anyway, just go out in the garage and do something, and you'll keep getting better. You'll keep getting better. And don't worry what those guys on Sunday morning ABC and CBS are doing. Or cable. I guess they're on cable, right? I haven't watched for so long, I don't even know what the hell they're on. Discovery Channel, maybe? Just stick to my YMFG videos, and you don't need to know anyway. But anyway, let's get some holes drilled in this, and maybe finish this wiring today, I'm hoping. I gotta go to plan B. These hole saws are so dull. Look at how they wallowed out my hole. And I wasn't even close with it. That was gonna get me all messed up. I'm gonna just trace this out and do it with a die grinder. I think I can do a better job. All right, I got the holes drilled. I need to get this notched out for the 2x4. I got this upside down. I put the paper pattern back on it, got it all lined up, and I just put a mark in each corner. So that would be an equal distance, you know. Try to get it in there symmetrical if we can. All right, started getting it fit into place. My notches are just good, I think. Right now, my key switch is just barely hitting on the bottom of that 2x4. I'm gonna have to shave a little bit off down there to clearance that, so that'll go back the rest of the way. The gauge up here is clear and fine. And then the conduit down here, I gotta cut it off where I made that mark. And then we'll have to put a little half moon notch in that. And then that should be able to push back all the way. But hey, it's looking exactly like I wanted it to. I'm liking that. Anyway, I'll keep moving here. I was trying to cut metal with that hole saw earlier. Shit, it won't even cut wood. I got it. I just beveled off a big chunk out of the bottom of that, where that ignition switch sits. That's about center right there. Still hitting down here, I think just a little bit on the ignition switch. Take out just a little bit more down there and that should be good. Holding out right here at the bottom a little bit still. I like it though. My shifter don't hit it, does it? Just about, but it clears. That's good. Beautiful. That ignition switch stuck back so far, I had to make like a relief cut in the firewall, which is under the hood, but that's double wall plywood right there, so I didn't go clear through anyway. But we're back in now. Everything is fitting real tight and right. So we get that piece of conduit mounted now, and I think finish the wiring. I'm liking all that. Looks good. So if I can get this wiring done today, what is today? Thursday. I think we can maybe start this by Saturday. That'd be cool, right? Yeah, looking at it from the other side. I like that. Something about it looks just right to me. Even though it's not what a Model T had, it just looks right. I think I got this all wired up and ready to go in. That damn India volt gauge didn't come with any nuts to go here. I took this kit out, had number 10s and number 8s in it. They weren't going to go. Thread wasn't right. It was going to cross thread, and that cheap plastic, I was going to ruin it if I tried to put something on there it didn't thread on easy. I went digging around through my drawers, found everything I could, and nothing would fit. Well, I'm thinking them damn India guys have got me again. How the hell am I going to hook this gauge up? It made me think about the speedometers that they sent me that didn't work. So I got that kilometer per hour speedometer laying in there on the shelf. I went in there and grabbed the nuts off the mount on it. Damned if they didn't fit. So at least it's hooked up. We don't know if it works or not, but it's hooked up. Got the notch cut out down there for that conduit, and I think I'm ready to try to put this in. I guess I'll drill a hole right here and here, so I got a way to screw it to the 2x4. Then we'll try it. I'm going to say that's done, as long as it works. I went ahead and I put ends on these down here. Still got to strap the conduit down. I guess this is pretty well finished in here. I brought the battery in out of my riding lawnmower. Vice scripted on there. I got to thinking, I'd been thinking all along I'd buy a car battery for this, but if a riding lawnmower battery turns it over good, they're a lot cheaper, you know. And I wanted to test all this stuff and just make sure it worked, but I don't know if it turns it over good. I think I'll just buy a lawnmower battery, about half the price, you know. But let's see if this stuff even works. Stick our key in here. Oh, there we go. 12 volts. Volt gauge works. That's good. Still got 12 volts. Sounded a little low on cranking amps though, didn't it? This ignition switch is wonky as hell. I'm gonna have to buy one. I guess my precision work I did on the switch wasn't up to par. It's got about 14 positions now, but that's okay. I'll find a better one. I don't know about that lawnmower battery though. That's an old battery. Maybe it ain't up all the way. Maybe if it was a new battery, it would work all right. I probably ought to just go ahead and get the big car battery. They got this cheap brand at Menards for like 80 bucks. And you know what? I'd always use it somewhere. I'm always needing a battery around here, so it's probably what I'll do. But hey, the dash looks good and it works, so I am gonna have to pull it back apart and change that ignition switch, I think, though. Wish I had another one around here, but I don't. Don't have any conduit straps. I got some 2-hole copper ones. Those will work all right. Got the conduit all strapped down. I took an air hose, blew it out. Might be some pretty girls want to ride in here once in a while. You guys laughing at me just then? It's possible. It could happen. Got 2 new spark plugs for this. I don't know what it's supposed to take, but these are Briggs & Stratton 796112. Figure if it works for Briggs & Stratton, it should work for this. We'll try it. When I first started this last summer, it had one bad plug in it. I couldn't get any spark out of it, and I took this one out of a Briggs & Stratton. That's an old Champion CJ8. Actually, that was a Briggs & Stratton plug that was in there. Anyway, we'll see what happens here. Oh, I put that wider belt on. That comes clear to the top of the pulley now. That's quite a bit wider than the one that was on it. It's still clearing the tire, but let me show you. This is the one I had on there, so I don't know if I can get the camera set right, but it's significantly wider. We'll hope for the best with that. I feel like that top pulley is where it's going to want to slip. The one on the tail shaft, right here. I think that's going to be my problem area. But I could probably still put an inch longer belt on there and cinch that thing clear over to where it's almost touching here. And that would encompass about the whole pulley. And that'd be about as much as I could ever do to it to get it to work. If that didn't work, I'd have to try something different. But anyway, that's on there good and tight right now. So we'll see what happens. Hey guys, I came out here this morning and I drilled holes through the flange on the gas tank and the wood on the floor. Got that all squared up, and I got the gas tank hanging under here. It's gonna mount real nice. And there it is from the back. I'll cut them legs off where them wheels used to hang under there. But yeah, it's gonna work good. I thought I'd just get that under there for now so I could start mocking up the filler neck. So I drilled that hole there for this grommet to come up through for the pickup tube. And when I did, I measured off the wrong spot. I went left when I should have went right or something, so that's not where it's at. It's actually over here. That's a rookie mistake for a guy like me. I'm glad that wasn't somebody's new vanity cabinet. But anyway, I can either leave that, tell everybody it's an inspection hole, or take some of that rusty sheet metal and cut me a square patch and nail it down over there, and nobody ever know the difference, right? Shit happens. Anyway, when I first started putting this gas tank under here, or got it all apart, it had about 3/4 of a tank of diesel in it, in that old Nipco. And I thought about starting the old Nipco up beforehand and burn it out, but I never did. So I took all that diesel and I poured into the other one that I was working on last fall. Old diesel into this little heater, and I've been using it today. And I gotta say, I'm glad we got that one. It was sent by a subscriber. Very generous of him. I would not have stayed warm with that little one like I do with that one. It works, but not as well as the big one. I can tell the difference. And I sat down in a chair. Sat down in this chair here, and I was smoking a cigarette, having a cup of coffee. And I looked over there behind Eliza. See all that daylight coming through there? We had a big wind here a few days ago. And last fall, before I started trying to heat this place, I had stapled felt paper up there to cover them big gaps. And I guess that wind was blowing so hard the other day. It actually blew my paper off. So I gotta get that stapled back on there. Winter ain't quite over yet. I hope to have new doors put in there by next winter. We'll see. Well, we're about 30 minutes into this video right now, and in the last video I said we're gonna start this in the next video. And this is the next video. I'm gonna change the oil in this motor. I'm gonna clean the points, get on the internet, see if I can figure out some place to tell me where I should set them. Try to make sure they're set right. And then when I come back here, we're going to see if we can start this thing with the key from the inside and let it sit here and run for a second, you know? We're not gonna drive it yet. That's for later. But will it run? It'd be nice if we get it to where you can just touch the key and it starts right up, you know, real nice. That'd be good, right? Anyway, let's do that. was cool. Really cool. All right, here's what's going on. I put gear lube in the transmission. I had this big jug around that had about 2 ounces in it. So I found this one. It had 2 more in it. I found this one. It had about 3. And then I found a full one. Seems like it held about 3 quarts of oil. I changed that. Had a heck of a time with the points. They were glazed over pretty bad. I kept cleaning them. I might get a spark once in a while, and I'd clean them a little bit more, and it'd get a little better, and I could flip them around with a screwdriver and get sparky things, but I finally got them working. Put 2 new spark plugs in it. I think I showed that. And I went to start it up. It took me a while to get it primed up. And I was using one of these for a squirt bottle down the throat of the carburetor. Had a little gas in it. Well, it's got that weird Mopar starter on it. As soon as the motor tries to fire, it kicks out. Only Dan could love that starter because, well, Dan, he's a Mopar guy. I would prefer a Chevy starter or even a Ford. But what would happen, I'd go back here, I'd have to prime it, and then I'd have to go in the cab and hit the switch, and it was a back and forth shit show for a while. But now it's running good. The belts, we'll call this the primary side. They're running nice and true. They look great. I think everything over on this side is going to work perfectly. The drive side where the belt goes to the wheel, at the present moment, I don't even think it's going to work. And I was sitting thinking about what I could do to get a chain on there. I got some ideas in my head. I might have to redesign that whole thing. But before I do that, I might open these doors and just see if it'll pull out, you know. And probably in the meantime start collecting parts for the chain, because I'm pretty sure it won't. I'm thinking maybe I can take a brake rotor off of like what year they start using disc brakes. I don't know, like say a 74 to 87 Chevy. It'd have to be a K10 truck with a 6-bolt pattern. If I could get one of those rotor brake disc off there that would go over that 6-on-5 bolt pattern and set me back to over my axle tube, maybe I could figure out a way to get a sprocket attached to the back of that rotor. That's what I'm thinking at the present moment. But anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Very successful video. I love it that it's running now. I think most of the work I've done here is good, I think. We won't know for sure until we try it. I had a commenter that'd been watching the videos. I don't know if she subscribed or he subscribed or whoever, but said that person had said they'd been watched every one of the Model T videos, and asked me if I would change the bar in between the headlights to a round bar. I was just thinking about doing that. Yes, I will. Because I think what's on there now, I think if I start driving it, I think the headlights will fall off. That was kind of my yard ornament, headlight mount. Now that it's going to be moving, I probably need a better one. Air compressor kicked on. That's better. Mainly, I'm happy with everything that's been done here and everything that's going on except for this belt drive. So I think the next video, we're going to pull the differential cover off. Got to make a gasket for it. Get some more of this to pour in there. We'll pull the front wheels off, start measuring for wheel bearings, see if we can get an alignment done and some better wheel bearings in there. A little bit more welding to do in places that need to go back to, I think. I'm just going to kind of inspect everything. And yeah, mostly very happy with all of this, except for that Mopar starter. We'll see if we can live with it. Anyway, I want to thank all you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share. More subscribers. Anyway, guys, Jeremy, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.